Good afternoon and welcome to Real Chicks Rock Presents Real Discussions. I'm your host for today, Michelle Dawsbert, and I'm always super excited to be here. Yeah, my voice is not my voice is not here, and I'm gonna explain why. For those of you guys that know me, I'm a house head. So yeah, right. Don't look at me like that, my guest. And so last night we celebrated 10 years of Tambor Party, and I've been honored to be working with Tambor for the last 5 years, and I was on the scene since year 3. So it's like 7 years of the movement. So last night we celebrated, and it was just like, so yeah, today I don't have my voice.
Yeah, get you some cough drops.
Yeah, we need some cough drops when I finish today's show. But look, my smile is bright and I'm excited to be here. So yeah, so thank you everybody for tuning in and listening and checking us out. I just want to give a little background about what Real Chicks Rock is all about. It's all about creatively collaborating and connecting to raise awareness regarding issues that impact women. I know my voice is bad. By way of community service engagement, public speaking, mentoring, workshops, and the arts. And the arts represents the media platform, and so that's why we are here today. My guest is none other than the financial money expert, Carl Agard. He was on here twice before.
Yeah,
This is third time makes the charm, strikes the charm.
Yeah.
You like coming back here. So today is no different. We're going to talk about everything that Carl knows about, because he knows a lot of good things. Hi, Carl. How are you?
I'm good. I'm honored to be back again 3 times. That's amazing. I can't believe it.
The first time you called in.
Yeah, you're a tough cookie. Yeah. I guess you're going to, one more, then you have to make me an official host.
A co-host?
Yeah, Real Chicks Rock with Carl Agard.
I may have to consider that.
Yeah.
So, Carl, tell me what's going on. Tell the people again, we get new listeners all the time. So just a little snippet about your background so they know how much of an expert you are.
Okay, cool. I was the youngest black real estate broker in Brooklyn in the early 90s. I was buying and selling brownstones, rehabbing them. I had a real estate company, mortgage company for a long time. Mm-hmm. Moved to Atlanta in 2001. Mm-hmm. And then after 9/11, I was relocating a lot of people from New York to New Jersey to the Atlanta area. Yeah. So everyone say, well, where all these New Yorkers came from? I'm partly to blame for that there. I also was building houses out here in Jonesboro, Riverdale, Union City area, built houses in Charlotte, St. Louis. I've written 5 books on real estate, credit, and business. Some of these I have right here.
Yeah, there he goes. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes.
I write for several magazines. I have a nonprofit for financial literacy. And that's it so far.
That's it so far.
Yeah.
You sound like you're just getting started.
Yeah, we got time, so I go over everything as we go along. But just giving everybody a little bit of what I do. It's a little bit.
Just a snippet. You know, I want to kind of, because we've had you here before talking about real estate and financial management, which were both very good shows. So thank you for that. Very informative. A lot of people walked away with a lot of information. I want to just really have some conversations with you today, because there's some things that are just kind of like on my mind and observations and things like that. And so because you've been here a while, and even though you have businesses in Atlanta as well as still up in New York and other states across the country, you have seen the change in Atlanta. You've seen the swell and the growth. And so you mentioned that you've done some building in Riverdale and Jonesboro. Are you still doing some building now in the Atlanta area?
Not right now, doing like buying and selling.
Okay.
Pick up a property, renovate it, maybe do an Airbnb. We talked about that on your last show. So everyone, go find the podcast, YouTube, whatever. With the last show we did, it was great information about buying rental properties to rent out either Section 8 regular rental or Airbnb. So I'm doing that. We also talked about a project in Augusta maybe coming up in 2020, buying houses, renovating them and reselling them, and also holding on to them. New York still, we're doing renovation on brownstones and selling as affordable homes. So that's stuff that's going on right now.
Give me just your opinion. What do you think's going on with Atlanta? Why do you think there's such an enormous amount of growth in this term of there's lack of inventory, so there's so much building going on? What is your perspective on that?
Yeah, well, they're not building as much affordable homes as they need to.
Okay, that's why. Let's stop right there. Yeah. They're not building what?
Affordable homes as they need to.
Thank you.
So everyone is basically doing apartment buildings.
Yes.
So you got corporations that are going in, they'll build apartment buildings so that they could keep the rentals.
Okay.
So they got their rental cash flow, but they're doing big high rises, big apartment units. I'm talking about 30 units on up. Now, if someone's building on houses, they're doing luxury homes.
Right.
So they're gonna go and build a luxury home, sell it for about $300,000 to $600,000.
Yes.
So now there's a void for affordable homes. That $100,000 to $150,000 marketplace. If they do build it, it's probably like a townhouse.
Yeah.
But there's people that want a regular house.
Yes. Yes.
And so there's a void right now because for the money purposes, the builders are trying to maximize what they're doing. So right now, and not even just Atlanta, across the country,
Okay.
there is a lack of affordable housing for your, folks that just basically like start a home, making $50,000 per year income and everything like that. They're getting priced out the market.
So what are they going to have to do? They're just going to always have to rent, if possible, or is the homeless population going to increase? Because people are going to kind of get edged out eventually, right?
Yeah. Well, my tips for people in that zone that say, hey, you know what, I can't afford a $300,000 house, but I do want to own something. I don't want a townhouse. I do want to have some grass, some land, everything like that.
Okay.
I say to them is like, people going to be retiring,
Okay.
the baby boomers, and they're starting already. So if you get and find those people that's retiring, you're able to get a good price on a house. So, you're going to be able to get like a ranch-style house,
Okay.
a smaller house, and you could renovate that, do your own kitchens and bathroom, customize it to what you want. Also, you always got people in foreclosure, people getting divorced, people passing away, stuff like that. So, you look out for those deals. So you get those houses in that price range,
Okay.
so that you could get that instead, and then you just tailor it to what you want in terms of the bathroom, kitchens, and stuff like that.
What are interest rates going for now?
Right now, for a first-time home, by about 4.25.
Okay. Not too bad.
It's not bad, yeah, 4.25.
Not too bad.
So you figure $100,000 to $150,000 house, you're looking like maybe like anywhere from $700 on the low end, up to about $1,200.
Okay.
And that's still less than rent, because you're gonna get a house about 3 to 4 bedrooms, two bathrooms. So if you get between a $700 to $1,200 range, that's still better than renting an apartment or a house, because now you're looking at $1,800. So still, buying is more affordable than renting, and also you're gonna be owning the equity, so the house gonna appreciate in equity over time and everything like that. So you get that also.
The thing is, though, that is true, but there's still this thing called redlining. So now we have to be cognizant and careful about the locations in which we purchase our home, correct?
Yeah. You gotta have some areas that's gonna be more affordable because of the school district, gentrification, stuff that's going on there. So it all, once again, depends on the person's taste, what they want to do, because
Okay.
everyone is different. Some people may look for a location or a house because of school for their kids. They may look for a location because it's close to a job. They may look for a location because it's by a certain park or entertainment complex or something like that. So, those are the factors that people got to look into when they're looking at a house.
Do you think for some of us that own homes, like we're always talking about multiple streams of income. So we're trying to find how can we still be homeowners plus maybe get in the game of having this investment property? Do we really need to have a lot of money to start that up, or what does that look like?
Yeah, it's good to have some, not a lot, but some. I think generally anywhere from couple of $1,000 to $5,000 just for the down payment.
Okay.
You could do like a first-time home buyer program, put 3% down. I do commercial mortgages and mortgages for investors, so those are like 20% down. So if you find a house for about maybe $120,000, you're gonna need about $20,000 or so to put down. But you'll make that money back when you either renovate it and sell it or when you rent it out. But to get in the game, you probably need about maybe $5,000.
Okay.
Generally speaking.
Okay.
The days of no money down is pretty much gone. The banks eliminated that. So they want to see people put some skin in the game and make sure they're serious.
Okay.
So they're gonna have some sort of money to get in. But hey, tax season's coming up. I tell people like, hey, plan for your tax season. If you get your $3,000 to $4,000 refund, start using that towards investing in the property.
Do you think there's a recession coming?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's here now.
Yeah, You're the second person that said
yeah,
that.
it's
I
here
said that
now,
last
yeah.
night, and somebody said, "Oh, it's here now." Why? How so? How so?
Well, here's it. Now, being in the finance world,
Come
I
on.
get ground zero. Okay.
I'm gonna sit back. Go.
Yeah, we gotta sit back. Yeah, we gotta lighten up. So we're a little bit serious. I don't want people to get off like, oh, this is so serious. No, we gotta lighten up too.
Come on, bro. Tell them. All right, I'm gonna sit back. So being in the finance business,
Yeah,
go.
I'm about to say we're gonna break to commercial and come back. Yeah, being in the finance industry, you're at ground zero when stuff happens.
Okay.
And so, a lot of my banks are private banks, hedge fund companies that do commercial lending. So their stuff is contingent upon what's happening in the marketplace. So anything goes wrong, we're going to feel it first. So last year when Trump did the tariffs with China, about June of last year, we saw the effect immediately.
Yeah.
When you do the tariffs, a lot of goods and products are made in China.
Yes.
They cut back on manufacturing. When it cuts down on manufacturing, it's going to hurt the products here in America. When it hurts the products in America, that means the factory's also going to slow down. When the factories slow down, they cut down on wages. When they cut down on wages, it goes down to the American worker. When it goes down to the American worker, it goes down to people buying. When people are not buying, that means the stores are not pushing out products. When they're not pushing out more products, they're laying off people. When they're laying off people, people are not buying houses.
We broke that
and there's still some steps in the middle of that I'm not even touching.
Yeah. I like that.
When that happened, so when the banks see that people are not out there buying food, clothing, everything like that, guess what they're doing? They're not giving out the credit cards. They're not giving out the car loans. They're not giving out the mortgages because they feel that if production is getting cut back, wages going to get cut back, people are going to get laid off. They're not going to be going out buying cars, houses, and credit cards. And if they do, they're going to default. The banks don't want defaults.
Nope.
So what happened now, the banks start constricting lending. And everyone, I'm an economics major from Syracuse University, so I studied this stuff, okay? So I'm just going to do that plug. Syracuse, go orange, but I got an economics major.
This guy is too much. I keep bringing him back. I got to stop. Go.
So when you have that going on, if it don't correct itself and it's prolonged, then it gets into a cycle. Then you have a recession cycle. So people are saying, oh, it's coming. No, it's already here. I could tell by phone calls. When, say last year, someone called me for a business loan.
Yes.
I need a loan because I want to expand my business. Now they're like, I need a loan because I need to keep my doors open. Yeah. I got to make payroll. So that's a big difference.
Yes.
People calling like, okay, I want to sell my house because I want to take my money, buy another house, or I want to move to a better place. Now it's like, hey, I got to get rid of this. I can't afford this. So that's how you know that you're inside of a recession. So no matter what they say on TV, the radio stations, TV stations, what you're reading, we feel it at ground zero. So, part of what we're going to talk about later is a recession guide to get people through it. But you're in it already and then another thing too is uncertainty. When you have uncertainty between the government, everything like that, the banks also restrict lending and giving out money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of uncertainty. So whenever that man get out there start tweeting, you got impeachment, you got a lot of stuff going on, there's uncertainty that's caused by it because they don't know what's going on. When no one knows what's going on, the banks stop lending because they like to have a direction. This is what's going on, and we could gauge what we're doing with that. But when there's no uncertainty, the stock market has been crashing. You have the Dow dropping 300 points in a day. It happens a lot. That's when you have the signal of it is a recession.
So how did we get to a space, Carl, that all of this building took place, even though we've always been in a recession? How did that happen? Like, who made that move to really be like, okay, we're just going to go out here and build and just absorb land and build warehousing and do all this other stuff and luxury homes, to your point. I mean, how did we get there? Like, who pulled that trigger?
Well, what happened is that we had the big recession, of course, from '08 on, right?
Yes.
Then you had expansion. So then it wasn't expanding like it was before, but it started getting better.
Okay.
So everyone bet on that, like, okay, look like it's getting better. So now let's get out there so that when people really start making good money, we have the product in place already. But then when you have crazy stuff going on in the government, now that pulls back again. So then, of course, now you got people that's out there building and doing stuff on the assumption that things are going to go good. Now they got to start pulling back now. So we always use a term as when you're in the ocean, you're turning a luxury liner back. It takes a long time for it to come back and turn back to shore.
Gotcha.
Whereas in your little rowboat, you could come right back. So, that's what's happening. So you're gonna see stuff going slower because it's not that easy to pull back.
Okay. But people are still marching ahead and going forward and doing what they do.
Yeah.
So for those of us that are conservative, right, and we're trying to pay attention and we listen to people like you and other financial experts, when would be a good time for us to really buy anything? Should we buy now? Should we wait till the recession really hits and then prices really drop and we get in there? Like, what is your opinion?
Yeah,
or
well, the
take on that?
recession is always good to get in because you're getting lower prices. Because when you have expansion, the numbers are higher.
Yes.
So like say a couple of years ago when things was looking like it was going pretty good, people was out there buying houses, the prices went up, wages was going up. So you're buying at a higher point. Now, when you do have a recession, that means people are losing their jobs, they're getting laid off, they're not really buying, they're not expanding, they might want to downsize. You're going to get a better deal on a house because now you don't have as much competition for one, and then also people like trying to like get out of their stuff. So I always tell people the best time to buy is during a down economy. Now, I've been a part of a few down economies. Now, I started real estate in the mid-90s. And, you had the dot-com bubble.
Yes.
Now, y'all forget out there. Let me tell you something. People forget stuff, But I'm going to remind you about a few things. Now, I bought during the dot-com bubble bust.
All right.
That was about 99, 2000.
Yeah, it was.
And then you had 9/11.
Yes.
9/11 not only affected New York, it affected everywhere because it was a war.
Right.
When you have war, things slow down. So then I dealt with that. Then in the Great Recession of 2008.
Yes.
Lived through that part.
Yeah.
So I've been a part of about 3 or 4 recessions, some bigger than others.
Okay.
And what I saw during that time frame is that I was able to get better deals during that time because people was getting laid off, they're getting rid of their houses, not as much competition. Because, when the economy's good, everybody, is trying to get in. Matter of fact, the radio a couple of years ago, all you heard during the radio, meet me at this hotel and I'm going to teach you how to get money, house with no money down. Everybody was doing those seminars during that time.
They were.
Now they're not doing it as much.
It's quiet. It is really quiet.
So when you get in during that time frame, you don't really have as much competition. We don't have as much competition. You have to get better deals. So, what me and Michelle are going to do is going to give you the blueprint of what you need to have during that time frame of a bad recession, your recession survival guide, meaning, how your credit should be looking, what houses you should be looking for, what to invest in, everything like that, recession proof stuff that you should look into during that time frame. I don't know, I should go into
go
it?
In, slide in, Brooklyn,
right
go,
in.
Brooklyn,
Okay.
go.
So let me go check my phone. People already calling me. They look, yeah, people already texting me talking about, man, get right into the recession guide. They want to know what's going on.
Come on.
This is inside tips you're not going to get. I hope y'all people know.
Come on, Brooklyn, let's go.
So, in terms of your credit and your budget, when you're going through a recession, you don't know if you're going to lose your job really also. You don't know if you're going to get laid off. I always tell people first thing you want to do is cut down on your expenses. You want to manage your cable bill, your utility bill, your car insurance. So if you can make more money, try to spend less.
Gotcha.
So evaluate your ancillary expenses. So you want to look at your car insurance. Okay, do I need to switch car insurance carriers? Do I threaten them and say, hey, I'm about to, so I do it all the time. I threaten them and say, hey, I'm about to get off. And next, they come with a better insurance plan. Same thing with your cable company. You want to cut the cord. You want to say, okay, this is what I just did, matter of fact. My cable company, they didn't want to give me any breaks. So then I threatened to cut the cord. Then they said, okay, we'll give you a better plan. So then they cut me down $50, but it adds up. Then what I did, too, was I got rid of my cable boxes because now you got these smart TVs. So what you do now with your smart TVs is that you get a smart TV, you get rid of your cable boxes, so that's $10 a box. Now I have 4 or 5 cable boxes. I got a nice house with kids and everything. So I saved myself about $50, $60 by getting rid of my cable boxes. So now I got smart TVs.
Yes.
So everything run through the smart TVs, which is on the Wi-Fi.
Right.
And I cut down my car insurance. And then another thing I did was my cell phone. I had a cell phone plan, but I've been winning for a while. So I said, hey, listen, if you guys don't cut my cell phone plan down, I'm going to go switch to another carrier. And then they cut my plan down too. So just that alone, I saved about $120 a month.
Okay.
Don't seem like a lot, but it's a lot,
That's
though.
a lot. Times 12, yeah.
Yeah. It's like
yeah.
a drink I could buy you. You know, when we go network or whatever. I could say, hey, Michelle, you know, I could get you like
now
a
you
shot.
can get me a drink now.
There you go, yeah.
Because things were tight before.
No, I was being tight. Yeah.
That $120 a month is a lot, but it is a lot for
Yeah.
some people because, for anybody, because money is money. We're not
Yeah.
here to begrudge or demise.
$2,000 a year.
Yeah, we're not trying to demise any amount because all amounts can add up to something.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's the blueprint.
Wait, so think of that. $120 a month times 12. And we're going to do some math. That's 100. That's $1,440. Right? Is my math right? I got a calculator.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Keep
I want
going.
everyone out there, y'all get your calculators out. Because it's going to make sense when I get to it, okay? So 120
Yep,
times 12.
12.
Yeah,
Yep,
right. See,
1440.
yeah, remember, economics major. I do this stuff in my head. $1,440. One time, one of my mentors told me, they said, you got to know mathematics or real estate. To make or break your commission, you better know your 3 times, your 6 times table, because that's how our commission is paid.
Yeah.
And then also know your 10 times table, because some commission might be 10%. So now, if you save $1,440 per year, the average increase in salary is maybe $500
Yeah.
a year. Think of that.
Yeah.
Now, you guys may go to your boss and say, I need a raise. They're going to raise you maybe $500 for the whole year.
Yes.
But I just saved you $1,440.
Yeah.
So if they don't raise you, you could also lower it. You gave yourself a raise. Hello.
He said, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. The money expert is here.
Now, another thing that you do, we talked about your household expenses. Now, you
Yes.
also got a budget.
Yeah.
People got to have a budget. Now, if you on the show and you IM me through Facebook or DM me, I could send you my income and expense report. This is what I do for people when I modify their homes, I restructure their plans, I do their credit, because I always believe budgeting is just as good as credit,
Okay.
improving your credit, your budgeting. So we always tell people, get a income and expense. One hand is your expense, you write on everything. How much your rent, car insurance, car payment, food expenses, cable, utilities, water bill, even when you go out entertaining, because that adds up too.
Yeah,
We know
that's the hard part right there.
In Atlanta, you could spend $100 a day.
I know, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those that wasn't here last one, you could go back. But real quick, I told them that I used to spend $3,000 a month just hanging out, and they was like, "No, that's impossible." So think about it.
Yeah.
If you spend $100 a day between food, drinks, parking your car,
Yeah.
that's $100 easy. If you go out every single day.
Yeah.
Not partying. You could just be going to a brunch.
Yeah.
You could go to
It could be
a
about
dinner
work.
meeting,
It could be about work and networking.
taking your kids out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave and Buster's. $100 a day
Adds up.
adds up. That's $3,000. And you do half of that, $1,500, easy on entertainment expenses. After one of your shows, we went out.
I know.
Me and a couple other people that was on your show, we spent $100 easy. Yeah.
It was a good show. Yeah, we've cut back now. We don't go out anymore.
Yeah.
We don't go out. We just text.
Everything's virtual. It's free.
We text and we talk on the phone. We don't go out
Yeah.
anymore because we're trying to watch this money. But yeah, so you're talking about just saving in that regard, just staying within a budget. I think a lot of us, Carl, we don't mind, like we got the operating expenses down, right? We'll make those calls, like you said. We'll cut some things, maybe we'll get rid of some pay-per-views. Some people do it seasonally, like when their shows come in, they do it, then they get rid of it when it's gone. Like Power and Game of Thrones and all that.
2 weeks,
you know what I mean? Like Games of Thrones and all that. So I think that cadence is all right. I think it's the entertainment piece.
Yeah.
And just us as people of color, we got to get hair and nails, and there's just like personal maintenance and then entertainment that people are like, I got to go out to eat. I got to do this. I got to do that. And that's the hard part for the budgeting part. That is a discipline that most of us do not have.
Right.
And even if we do it for a while, then we blow it because then we say, I deserve it because I've been good for all these weeks and I'm going to go out and I'm going to turn up and I'm going to do this.
Yeah. And you don't want to torture yourself either. So I always tell people, hey, you just got to monitor it.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want to tell people, hey, stay in your house and don't do anything.
Right.
You know, but, life is life. Sometimes you just got to go out there. Try to hang with friends that are going to make you money and not make you spend money.
Spend money, yeah.
That's very important. Think of this.
Yeah.
All you guys listening and watching and everything, think of your friends, your circle of friends. When you're out with them, are y'all talking about making money or y'all just talking about hanging?
Yeah.
Because if you're talking about making money, then you're paying for itself.
Mm-hmm.
You get yourself a team of people you could do a little business together, buy property together.
Mm-hmm.
Someone may know like a better job or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell people to look at your circle of friends, because, if you're out with a bunch of people and, they want you to, oh, man, I don't have it. Can you get me this time? And then you're not talking about making money, then that's it there. So I say, hey, go out, have yourself a good time, but then go out with people that, either could help with the bills sometimes. And also, positive people that could tell you, hey, man, I know about something going on that we can make some money on. I know of a good opportunity. Hey, let's talk about some real estate. Let's talk about how to build your business.
Mm-hmm.
And then next time we go out, you could tell how to help build my business.
Right.
But even when we go out, we
right.
talk about each other's business.
Yeah, we talk business the whole time.
Yeah, because, we're in real estate, we're in media.
Mm-hmm.
We say, okay, what can we do to make our businesses a little bit better and everything like that,
Yeah. You gave me the biggest compliment. You said, I've only known you for a year. We've done so much together. I feel like I've known you for 10 years.
Yeah, literally. Like, we went to the event that we met each other last year, the sneaker ball.
Yes.
And we couldn't believe that it was like a year.
It was just a year.
But we done so much, about 3 radio shows, a lot of networking events. We done sent people back and forth to each other for shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We ended up knowing mutual people also.
Mm-hmm,
like you had about 3 people I knew that was on your show.
Yeah. But my whole knowledge base has grown just having you on the show. And I just wanted to have you here to extend it to other people because these are the questions we have. And we need people like you in our midst because we don't understand or we don't know how to get to the information, the true information.
Right.
And what it is a lot of people are talking about gentrification is not bad if you can be a part of it. And so the questions is, how can we be a part of this change that's going on in our communities, in our neighborhood?
Right.
And it's really about resources and money. So how do we take what we have and be able to sit at the table to influence change?
Yeah. Well, a lot of hot topic everywhere is gentrification because it goes online in a lot of different cities. Like Brooklyn, I was in the beginning of the gentrification, Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights, before the Barclays Arena was up. And unfortunately, I tell people it's going to happen with or without you because the powers that be, they have the money, the resources to get in there. So what you got to do is, one, as you know it's about to happen, get in there and buy houses so that you either could have it there or sell it to those as they come in and profit off of it. And then also there's going to be resources that those people are going to need when they get in there. So you got to target like, hey, well, what do I got to put in there that I can make money off of that? That's all like yoga, a yoga studio, or dog care. Well, I mean, no, being real talk.
I know.
Yeah, like those that was smart to say, hey, this is going to happen with or without me. How can I benefit from them? The smart ones got in there and they opened up a yoga studio, a dog grooming, restaurants, a bar, stuff like that. And they benefited off of it, because you're either going to be on one side of the fence or the other. Same thing with the recession. What side of the fence are you going to be on? Now, I was on the right side of the fence with 2 recessions. I had my money, my credit right. When the big real estate market crashed in '08, I was on the wrong side of the fence because, I had to file bankruptcy. I was billing a lot of stuff. I had to regroup. I was trying to get people in and say, hey, this is the time to get in. They were scared, and they missed out on a lot of good deals because they were scared. I'm like, man, if I was on the right side of the fence, I could have really benefited. Now, this time I'm going to be on the right side of the fence because my money right, my credit's right, everything like that, and I got the knowledge. Because I've seen all these cycles and knowing that it's a temporary cycle, but you got to get in there, get what you can, build your assets, and then either you keep it for the long haul, you can sell it short term, or do a mix of both.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to ask you this. So, a couple of friends of mine we're talking about real estate investing and that type of thing. Is it better to Airbnb versus renting out the property? What do you think?
It depends on the location. Like if you got a place like by arena, colleges, parks. You know, entertainment is good to do an Airbnb because
Okay.
people are gonna be coming in and out of town, right? But if you got a place that's a little further out, but in a good school district,
Yeah.
then it's good to then rent it out because then you're gonna get your money because people want to be in good school districts. So I tell people, yeah, it depends on the location.
Okay, all right. So for to be recession proof, we want to kind of follow the trends, right? So is now a good time to start buying, or should we wait till is it more 2020, mid 2020? What do you think it's going to be, Carl?
I say, well, it's already going on, so you could start plucking deals right now.
Okay.
Because people are already getting laid off. People already is like losing money and they want to get out of it. Same thing if you want to buy a business. Some business already folding up, you know, because they can't sustain it, or you know, some didn't budget. So one thing I say in my book, this real estate book here that I've written, is like you make your money when you buy, not when you sell.
Okay.
And people say, well, but you make your money when you sell. No, you make it when you buy, because when you buy the right way, you've made your money. So a lot of times when I buy stuff below market value. And then also I negotiate a short sale. I can negotiate with the bank, get the bank to take off money off the mortgage. When the bank take the money off the mortgage of that person, now once again it frees up equity. So that's how I make my money in the beginning, because I'm not buying at full value and hope it appreciate. I'm creating my appreciation because I'm gonna buy a distressed house. And a distressed house is someone that's going through a divorce, someone passed away, they lost their job, they gotta like relocate in a hurry. So I'm gonna now get that house because it's gonna be like a fire sale. Or I'm gonna go to the bank and negotiate a fire sale. You know, negotiate a short payoff, a short sale. So that's how you make your money when you buy, not when you sell. Because then when you, say for example, a house worth $200,000. Now, most people are going to say, I'm going to buy it for $200,000 and hope it be worth $250,000.
Right.
Now, I'm going to try to that same situation and see if I can negotiate with the bank, get it for $130,000. Now, I got $70,000 in equity right there. So I know I made my money. So I either could now sell it for $200,000.
Right.
I could sell it for $150,000 real quick, make $20,000. So I made my money when I bought it.
Now, how do you get the information about houses being in distress, as you say? Is it because you have a relationship with financial institutions? So the common average person like myself, I wouldn't be able to get exposed to that information, would I?
No, but I got another way you can get exposed.
Okay,
Here's the
okay.
tidbits right here. This is
Okay.
why y'all should be paying her good money for this stuff. I always tell people, and I had said this on a radio show one time, is that you go out there, network with professionals, for one. Two, know an area. Find an area that you like to be around, or you might be an area in already. And, you're talking to people. The more you talk to people, the more you get to know.
Okay.
Get to know the mayors of the area.
Okay.
Like, the funny thing in Brooklyn, people always laugh at crackheads. Crackheads were my best friends. The best brownstones I bought in Brooklyn was because of a crackhead told me about it. Because while everybody's ridiculing that crackhead, I would say, hey, here's a couple of dollars. Whenever it snows, can you shovel, my properties? Hey, can you take out my garbage when the garbage truck comes? And, I never disrespected that person. So guess what? The crackhead know everything going on. He would say, hey, man, I know of, you want to laugh so bad? We're going to make this show light, though, But this is serious. This is real talk.
It's called
Yeah.
in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That's just you.
Yeah.
You just using all your resources.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I know of a brownstone that my boys was in, and you could get it for a steal. Just take care of me. I literally got a brownstone for $25,000 that
Stop
way.
it. Get out.
And I sold it for $300,000.
Nat, cut his mic off.
Yes.
Get out of here.
636 Monroe Street. Y'all could look it up. You'll see my name on the chain of title. I got it for $25,000.
Are you serious? And what did you sell it for?
$300. Yeah. And that wasn't overnight now,
I
but
understand.
300 is 300,000.
Yeah.
I had title issues. It was like New Jack City, and they had to get people out. You had dogs running all over the place. But hey, 300,000,
Yeah,
300,000.
$300,000.
Yeah. I never forget.
So one
It was
thing
a
about
crackhead. He said I could get this house for $25,000. I took him and his guys. I went to the bank with a deed. And I
You was
said,
a
I need
mess.
$25,000. They signed the deed and we notarized it. They gave me the keys. I just had to deal with the headaches afterwards.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm telling you, no, real talk, it was because a part of me finding out the best deals. I talk to everybody. I talk to people, neighbors, everything like that. And that's how I used to get good deals also.
Because I don't even know how you talk to people because you're shy.
Oh, I just said that earlier. Yeah, I'm shy. You know, radio. I'm so nervous when I do radio shows. I'm so nervous.
You're fine. You're fine.
I'm
You're
nervous,
fine.
guys.
I think the one thing is too, though, we have to be patient. Like 401s or any other investment, we have to be committed to it and let that sit and not be so quick to move and be, reactionary. But just understand it may take some time based on the market, based on the neighborhood, just based on other variables to see that kind of money or to see a profit in general.
Right, or see the good deal and do reading. A lot of reading, research the areas and everything like that. And sometimes you gotta like go out in faith and go against the grain. Like I go where nobody want to go, basically. Like where everyone's going somewhere, I'll go somewhere else. You know, because everybody want to go. Oh man, I heard this is going. Everyone's over there. Then it's not good because now you're gonna pay higher prices. When you do your research and find out, hey, you know, this school is opening up, this college is expanding. They'll open up an entertainment complex, a sports facility, and you'll know about it in advance because you might see an article. Also, too, if you get a part of your local community board and go to the community board meetings, you're going to know everything that's going on in the future because they're doing the planning. So I was a part of a lot of community boards. I was in community board in Brooklyn. When I moved here, I was in community board out in Union City, South Fulton County. I'm still a part of it now.
Nice.
When I went to Charlotte and St. Louis, I always go to community board to find out what's going on because that's where you know 5 to 10 years in advance what's about to happen. Then you know, okay, I need to start looking around this area, knowing the who's who and everything like that.
How do you join the boards? The community boards just show up?
Yeah, you literally, like it's a open public meeting where elected officials, community board leaders, developers, merchants, they all just come together and just talk about what's about to happen. And you could just show up as a public meeting. So I tell people, you got to go to the boring stuff, community board meetings. Same thing like when you have kids, you know, you go to PTA meetings. A lot of people don't want to go to PTA meetings, but that's how you know what the school is doing.
That's
like,
what's
seriously.
going on. Yeah, you got to go. You got to go to those meetings to understand.
Yeah.
So do we have our guidelines for recession-proof living?
Yeah, so we talked about credit and budgeting.
Okay.
So the main thing, just to recap, is you want to have an income and expense. You write everything down, see what you could cut back, evaluate your expenses, start hanging out with positive people if you do hang out, people that could help you also grow your money, not those that's just gonna like order stuff and walk away when the bill comes. My favorite one is like, you know, when I used to road trip, you road trip with somebody, and then when you get to gas station, start going, they sleeping. Yeah. Avoid those people during a recession. We talked about real estate part. During a recession, you want to basically look for good deals. You want to look for stuff that's below market value, distressed property, because what's going to happen is people are going to start losing houses. They're going to want to start cutting back, downsizing, leaving the area, getting other jobs, and they have to sell fast, so you want to get those properties. And that means that's why you got to get your credit good. So you want to get your credit good, you want to get your money right so that you're able to you know, get in that. You don't want to be like, oh man, I know somebody can't do anything. And then, you know, you either miss the opportunity and then someone else jump in, you know, and then you see the fruits of their loins. You know, I seen it also.
Yeah.
So real estate wise, you know, those are the tips right there. Business wise now, which is this book here. So on the business tip, you want to find out recession proof business. So if you're a business owner, and you want to know how do I get through a recession, because I do a lot of small business financing. One thing I learned, barbers and beauty salons.
Yes.
Recession proof.
Yes.
Your hair's not going to start growing. Is it?
No.
It's not going to start growing.
No.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. And we're going to talk about recession stuff for businesses. Come
on.
I had a real estate agent, right, in 2007 working for me. Here in Atlanta, real good. Shout out to Dan Brown, Exodus Barbershop. It's on Memorial Drive. But he was doing real estate with me, but he also has a barbershop. Minute the recession hit, he just did his barbershop.
Yeah.
And I said, man, you lucky, because his place is always packed.
Yeah.
You know, here I am now. I'm a real estate guy. I'm dying. Can't sell no houses. I'm losing money hand over fist. And this guy, he got it. 6 barber chairs.
Yeah.
He make money from each barber. They got to pay him the daily rental.
Right, right.
He got people coming in Fridays and Saturdays. Hair's not going to stop. You got to get your hair cut. Then same thing on the women's side. Women's still going to go get their hair done. They're going to buy the weaves. They're going to get their hair done. So that's not going to stop.
Yeah.
And so for those people out there, I mean, that's a good business, to invest in, or if you want to do it.
Yeah, be a
beauty
part
salon.
Of it.
Yeah, the beauty industry.
Yeah.
Restaurants.
Because we spend a lot of money on that.
Yeah. Restaurant business, but it depends.
Yes.
What I found out, takeouts is good. Simple takeout.
Yeah.
Simple menu. I had a Vietnamese family. I did their business loans. And I was astounded. They was making $100,000 a month. And all they sold was 6 things on the menu. And it was all takeout. They was there from only 11 in the morning to 4 in the evening. That was it, no weekends. Because their location was by Georgia State University. It was by the office buildings. It was by the underground. So they got that lunch crowd.
Yeah.
The line out the door. But it was quick, like Chipotle's.
Yes.
And they made their money from 11 to 4. And made $100,000 a month. Nothing on takeout. And only had 6 things. You're either going to get noodles or rice, and you're either going to put vegetables, shrimp, or chicken. And that was it.
That was it.
And that's maybe 5.
Yes, 5 right
there.
there.
You combinate it.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's it.
Wow.
Yeah. And they eliminated, waitresses, waiters, everything like that.
Overhead stuff.
Yeah. So for those out there that's saying, well, I want to start a business, and you had a lot of people got laid off from corporate America, especially in a recession, you'll get laid. They're like, well, I want to do my own business. And so I throw out there, like I said, that we talked about the barbers and the beauty salons, takeout restaurant, which is simple. Your location is important. You want to make sure it's by office buildings or colleges, or, and once again, entertainment, stuff with a lot of traffic and people. Transportation.
Yeah. Everybody's Ubering and lifting.
Yeah, Ubering, lifting, or doing like medical transportation. The medical field. Yeah, home health care, nursing, medical transportation, anything in the medical field, because that's recession proof. People are always going to get sick.
Yeah, we get sick when we lose our jobs or don't know how we're going to pay these bills.
Yeah, people get older and get sick. Yeah, so that's not going to stop.
You know what I was looking at too? Just the pet industry. Because people are having more pets than they're having kids.
Oh, yeah?
In the sense, like, there's this whole, clothing line for pets, grooming, spa, overnight stay. Then there's, puppy cams, video cams. So there's technology and all the dog walkers. Yeah. There's a whole thing.
Interesting.
It's a lot. It's not going away because people are like, in looking at millennials or people that are like, and you can put relationship in it, right? If they find that they can't find the right person to settle down, they're not getting married like they used to, like their parents did. They're not having kids because they feel like they can't afford it, or they don't want to raise a child by themselves. They're still living at home. They want someone to love. What's man's best friend? They get these puppies that are these pets that look really cute and cuddly, and then talk back.
Yeah, don't talk back.
Don't talk
They're
back.
not gonna leave you.
Don't have to go to college.
So women are like, I date a dog, now I'm going to have a dog.
No, see, you done went too far. But it's something to think about. So, because people are doing that. Empty nesters, kids leave, then they get a pet and that kind of thing because they need some type of companionship or whatever. Yeah. So, I think that's something that we need to look into more.
Yeah, and that's true because, even downtown Brooklyn, because it's gentrified, they open up dog supermarkets because they live by themselves. They have a dog, and they'll walk the dog, and like you said, I guess the millennial, and you got to cater nowadays to the millennial because that's the ones that's coming in. Their dynamics is changing everything from real estate to business all the way down to technology, and like you said, they're not looking into getting married and buying a big house.
No,
what they're doing is they want a smaller house. That's why, like, for those of you guys that want to get into real estate investing, getting those older ranch style houses and just renovating them, because the millennials like that older style and they want to be closer to town and they don't want a lot of space. Like I live way out in Alpharetta. I had a 6,000 square foot house. I wouldn't want to do that again. you know?
6,000 square
Yeah, that was back then. But, you know, when I was a millennial age, I mean, that was that time. You know, when I was a millennial age, and these guys in their late 20s and 30s, at that time when I was that age, I wanted a 6,000 square foot house without 3 or 4 cars. That was that time in the 90s and 2000s. But things are different now.
Yeah.
So you got to adapt your buying towards that.
Right.
So, like I said, when I build, I'm doing smaller homes, closer in town, like we talked about in Augusta, or townhouses. You don't want to go all the way out to the suburbs and build these mini mansions because they're not into that.
No.
So what you're saying is 100% right, that they are either by themselves, they don't want a big family, and they want to, you know, get dogs, someone that's reliable.
Yeah.
You know, you got
And
to
people are
cater
in
towards
and
it.
out. People don't want to be home like our
Yeah.
mom and grandmothers clean the house all day. It's like, no, we ain't trying to do it. It's like, I'm in and out. I Uber my food, right?
Yeah.
I DoorDash, so people
Yeah.
don't even cook as much. You know, everything is just about convenience. So
Yeah.
it's just, you got to look at those things. Anything that can provide convenience to the consumer might be a good business model.
Yeah, and you said something else about Uber and DoorDash. Going back to the takeout restaurants, another thing is that when you do like a small takeout restaurant, eliminating like a lot of space, a big menu where you got to buy a bunch of food and people might not order half the stuff on it. You got to have a waiter or waitress, then you're held hostage by your chef and your cooks. When you have like a small takeout, you know, you keep the menu simple. You know, when you keep it simple, then you could just hire anybody to just emulate that menu. But like you said, people are either going to come take it out or they're going to just order.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of my restaurants that do takeout, they stuff things like crazy. The DoorDash, the Uber Eats, and the
Yeah.
Postmate
Yeah.
orders are coming in. And then they're just having it in and out, in and out. And they're doing like $10 to $15 a pop.
Yeah.
But they're doing a volume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really great.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk to you about Augusta. You said it a couple of times today.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Augusta, if you can. What's going
Okay.
on? Is it growing? Is it building? Is it going to be like the next Atlanta? What's happening?
It has a chance, you know, like what's happening in these towns, you know, there's like mini gentrification or mini, and I want to use gentrification because sometimes there's also just regular growth that's going on
Okay.
in different towns and cities.
Okay.
You know, whereas, you know, you might have colleges expanding. The thing unique about Augusta is a big medical center. There's a big medical center hub in the middle of town, and it's always expanding. I mean, high tech, it looks like Emory in the middle of this little city.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of expansion that's going on. I'm looking into going out there. You know, we talked about it, and, you know, we could get in there, you know, with some other folks that's listening, want to really look into it. But it's good to get on the ground level, to go in there and develop and build or rehab older homes, because as the medical centers are expanding, the colleges in town are expanding. Naturally, people are going to want to live in the area, you know, and move to the area for the jobs. So that's what's going on.
And so that's really an opportunity to get in and flip, because there's so many ways to make
Yeah,
money, right?
right.
The Airbnb, the getting the property and renting, or just getting it and flipping. And you've done
Yeah.
all
of it. Yeah.
You've done all of it.
Yeah.
So in this particular dynamic, it's going in and flipping per se?
You could do either.
Okay.
Yeah, and I always tell people, you know, you either could do a mix, because you want to flip to get your cash to buy more stuff.
Yes.
Because, you know, you really need the cash. Like all this no money down and all that, it's hard, you know. But, you know, you want to flip to get your cash to buy other stuff, but then you also want to hold for the long term.
Right.
So you want to have a mix of a portfolio. And then also it depends on the person lifestyle.
Right, right.
You know, like in the beginning, I like to travel. So I just was flipping because I didn't want to have the responsibilities of buying and holding. But now as I got older, I saw that buying and holding is important.
Okay.
Because of some stuff that I'm cashing out in Brooklyn is because I held them, you know. And if I got rid of them, I wouldn't have the money I would make now. So you want to have a mix of buying and holding, fix and flip. Then you also want to see, like, what do I want to do? Do I want to just fix and flip, or do I want to do a tenant? So, you know, it depends on your personality and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Your options.
But it's an opportunity for all of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the other thing too, Carl, is most people don't know where to get reliable help when you get these properties that require it to be fixed up. Any recommendations on how to build a team, like a home improvement team? I know you got, but recommendations on how we can get one going.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people, like, you want to go and just network with different contractors, plumbers. You want to meet different bankers, lawyers. You want to have your circle of influence. There's a circle of people you want to have. And you want to have about 2 or 3 of each one. And that goes out with the networking. I want to have 2 or 3 realtors. I want to have 2 or 3 real estate lawyers. I want to have 2 or 3 contractors and 2 or 3 mortgage brokers, so that all your eggs are not in one basket. So you can see who's going to give you the best deal, who's available, who could refer you deals also, and everything like that. And it's a good segue because, we're doing a seminar. And the seminar that me and Michelle is doing is on October 26th.
Next Saturday.
And she'll give you more details. But it was a perfect segue. For those of you who missed the seminar that we did before, we did talk about that. And some of the people that came to the seminar, they started enacting that and put it into play. Because you want to, one, do your research in your areas, but you also want to build your team, a team of professionals that you could have when you have a deal that you can jump right into effect.
The seminar is coming up on Saturday, October 26th at the Philip Rush Center. We're going to start at 10:30 in the morning, about an hour and a half, where Carl is just going to go through everything. And he's right. The last time we had the workshop, a lot of people walked away with a lot of good information and put the plans in action. And actually saw some changes and stuff like that. Started working with one another in the class to start doing real estate investment and really starting to look at the market, understanding that one even went to Airbnb classes to understand, like, okay, how to manage the properties and do all that. So I think, definitely if you got questions, you don't know, I think there's strength in numbers. So if you come to a workshop like this and meet other people, you could connect and build and get that fear off of you of having to do it by yourself.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times that's why we're crippled, because it's like, I feel like I'm doing this by myself, especially when we own a home already. We don't necessarily always want to take another risk and bring that onto our family. But if there's a way that we can partner with some other people, then it's good, because then it's like, okay, I'm not doing this by myself. And then we split responsibilities different ways, right?
Yep. I mean, 100% right. And when what I'm seeing now, I don't know if it's a millennial or just in general with people, I see people doing stuff by themselves. They don't trust nobody. They were trying to do it all by themselves. It's hard. When I got in real estate, I was about mid-90s. It was about 5 or 6 of us, all my frat brothers. And it took us 2 years before we closed our first deal. But we had fun in the process. We still talk about it to this day, and everybody's still doing real estate. I mean, big-time guys. Guys that's millionaires by what we started. But we talked about how, for 2 years, we was just running around trying to do deals. Like, I had the best credit and the best job. I was like, the person that would do the application, and this guy found the house. This guy would talk to the banker. This guy would talk to the lawyer. But it was easy because everybody was motivating each other. So, like, whenever we wanted to quit, somebody would step up and say, oh, man, don't quit. We're going to try it this way. And then after then we started buying the houses. At that point, everyone split up to do it. But, I mean, that time was the best time of our lives. It was like 5 of us just packed in a car, just driving around trying to figure it out. And we was like 25 years old. And then once we started then getting the first house, and this one got, then this one got, but we was all still around helping each other. So just I'm telling people that, you want to get a support group of people that's going to motivate you, answer your questions, help you get guidance. It's really hard doing stuff by yourself, even with a business. You want to at least do a business with like-minded people, because there's going to be days that you want to quit. You're going to get discouraged, but you got to have that person like, hey, hang in there. Let's try this. Let's try that way, because somebody may see something you're not seeing.
Right. Oftentimes people think that because they have a good credit score, they have a budget, they may have a few stacks in the bank, that they're eligible to jump into commercial property. What are some of the guidelines in order to really get into that?
Yeah, well, commercial property is a little different than residential. So, residential is anything that's 1 to 4 family house, townhouse, condo, stuff like that. Something you're going to own or occupy. That's residential. On the commercial side, they're trying to relax some stuff to grow more investment. So I have a couple of commercial loan products where people could buy 1 to 4 family houses or townhouses to rent out. And it's not going to be on their credit. It's going to be on their tax ID number for the corporation that they develop. And they're going to get better rates. So now you don't got to go to a hard money lender. And you can put less money down. So now that makes it easy for people to get in on the commercial side. That's if you're getting like investment properties where you're going to rent to Airbnb or rent to a family or corporate rentals. Now, if you're looking into a strip mall or office building, everything like that, you just need more money. That's it. It's all about money on that end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for most people that are listening, it's probably going to be like that, the multi-unit family homes, that
Yeah.
type of thing, to really, because again, they see you can get all these rents and that kind of thing, and just create options because they want to be able to have it's all about the multiple streams, Carl.
Yeah, streams of income. Yeah.
We trying to get the multiple streams, bro.
Multiple stream, and the nest egg. Don't forget the nest egg.
We got to get these streams,
Yeah,
man.
we
You
ain't
can't have it all
getting
by
no
yourself.
younger. You know?
Getting tired. Look what you told me the other day. You can't run up and down to New York like you used
No,
to.
I can't. I gotta work on my nest egg. You know? I just want to lay down and watch some judge shows all day long. That's what I'm trying to do. And I've been doing this for 20 years. And it's been 60 dog years. When you're in real estate, it's dog years. Let me tell y'all. I'm going to really start talking to y'all. 1 year, human years, is like 3 dog years in real estate. So I feel like I'm 60 mentally. Hey, but it's my money. I mean,
But it's good,
it's
though.
good. Yeah, it's my business. I haven't had I wouldn't say a job. I mean, it's been my business, but I
Yeah.
haven't had a 9-to-5 job since 1998. You know, blessings to God that I survived this long.
yeah.
And I've been through all those cycles. I mean, tough cycles. And I own other businesses, from a juice bar to a media company to a club, you know. But I've been fortunate to be able to start businesses, employ people. I didn't have to go to work for anybody. And then after a while, I became unemployable because, you know, when you own your own business, it's hard to get a job. And you're like, okay, you got an hour lunch break. You're like, why? You got to show up on time. Why? You know? Yeah. So, I mean, it's a beautiful thing, you know, to own your own business and own real estate. And you could take your kids where you want to take them.
Oh, my gosh.
It's hard work, but it's for you at the end of the day.
It's for
So,
you.
even though I complain, you know, I say, well, it's for me at the end of the day. I don't got a boss.
You don't have
You
a
know?
boss.
I mean, I get a check and go in my bank account.
And you're home watching judge shows.
Yeah, watching judge shows all day. And I'm just doing mortgages and getting loans and, you know, I'm trying to make things happen and, you know, I watch judge shows and stuff like that.
Now,
yeah.
do you repair people's credit, don't you?
Yeah, repair people's credit.
You still doing that?
Yeah, we do it for our in-house clients. So people that want to become an investor or get money to start a business, you know, if they're like a little bit off, we help them get to where they need to be to get loans. Yeah.
You do it
And
all.
fast also. They do too much, yeah. So I gotta, you know, settle down. Y'all people out there, y'all gotta come in and get on this team and let me just tell y'all what to do and y'all just cut me a check. That's where I want to be at. Yeah, you know. Yeah.
I'm gonna get on the team. I'm
Yeah,
gonna get on the
I
team.
need people on the
I need
team.
some bread. I need
Yeah.
some bread because working for corporate, you're absolutely right. Because the expectation is, you know, you have to operate and perform at an exemptional level,
Yeah.
right? And unfortunately, there's no pay to compensate the level of work that you're giving them.
Yeah.
The market is soft. That's what they're saying. The market is soft, especially when you're in some form of retail, because people are watching what they spend. It's
Yeah.
like, if I don't need it, I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah.
So then when people leave, those jobs don't get backfilled, you're working harder, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's happening. So it's like there is a culture or community of people that are like, instead of me working so hard for somebody else, I want to work hard for myself. But what does that look like, and how do you get that going? So that's great that you can extend that to people. That is serious.
Yeah, I mean, serious. I mean, in the 90s, I was a top salesman for a corporation with health insurance. I was making over 6 figures. And then the stocks dropped, and they figured they could hire people like us for half.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like, why pay y'all 100 if we could get people coming to do it for 50? And then, thank God, back then, they was giving good severances. So that was my seed money to start my own business.
Okay.
Plus, I had a couple of properties already. I had the equity. I pulled out, and I started my business. But, you know, just seeing how there's just no stability with corporate America and the politics that you got to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, I think the politics is even worse than even the job description.
Yeah, it is.
You know, yeah.
It is. It pays the bills for now, but it is. So we got to do that until we can get on the promised land of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So that's what
every time I feel like I want to go back to a job, I hear y'all talk about the politics and lunch breaks and all that other stuff.
Going to work every day.
The traffic in Atlanta's enough. Oh my God. the one time a year that I get up at 9 in the morning to go somewhere, because, you know, I do get up early, but, you know, everything is on the phone and email. But once every blue moon, I do got to get up and go downtown in the morning. I'm like, how do people do this twice a day? This is incredible. The traffic in Atlanta. And then I go to New York. Then you got to do it the subway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, how do people do that?
You're so
It's incredible.
You are clueless to what we go through.
I mean, I did it one time. I had to pull over. I literally had to pull over at a gas station. And I just said, I'll be a little late. It was a meeting. And I just let the rush hour crowd just go ahead. Just go. Y'all just go ahead. My nerves was rattled. My nerves was rattled, for real. Like, I asked someone for a cigarette. And I was like, they do this 2 times a day. Incredible. I think that alone would make me want to start a business. And it starts at 10 and it's over at 7 or done at 3.
Yeah, no, rush hour is bad here in Atlanta. It's really bad. It's really bad. So what other cities you have in mind as it relates to like your development plans and things like that? Can you share or no, not really? It's none of our business.
Oh, it's everyone's business. I mean, if someone want to get down with it, yeah, come on in. But I mean, Charlotte is good and booming. A lot of expansion. A lot of banks are based out of Charlotte. They're always expanding. They just expanded the highway out there, 77. So that's a good thing to look at. Tampa.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Baltimore. There's always something going on. Baltimore, they're expanding Morgan State. I drove by there the other day.
Really?
Yeah, and they expanding more. It's beautiful over there, Morgan State University. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Tampa. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Is it because Orlando's oversaturated? So what? Is Tampa the next best thing, or?
Corporations always opening up. The weather, people want to go down there, stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of development.
Nothing in the Midwest.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just you're an Eastern guy.
They don't like New Yorkers that much in the Midwest.
Why not?
The whole other stories, like me when I lived in Dallas. That was fun.
Why not? Yeah. Why don't they like
I'm Dallas California. They hate New Yorkers out there.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
And the minute I start talking, my accent is very thick.
You was probably flossing when you went down there.
And I had that New York attitude. They're like,
you
get out of
flossed.
here.
Yeah. So they was like, get out of here with
that.
The
minute I said, forget about it. They was
like,
okay.
they didn't like you.
Yeah. Midwest is, there's money making the Midwest. But I gotta have a Midwest. Someone in the Midwest that want to team up with me, y'all come on. I could be my front man. Yeah.
What's next for you? What's next for you in the next year? What does your 2020 look like?
I want to finish off some new books.
Okay, because we've done 5. I heard you say 5.
Yeah, so I want to do some more books.
Okay.
My nonprofit, the financial, the Agar Financial Foundation is my nonprofit for the financial literacy. So I want to do more seminars and speaking.
Nice.
Just educating people once again on the economy and stuff like that. And that's it. Just trying to buy some good houses and some good properties and make money so I can watch more judge shows. There's more coming out. Seriously, there's really more judge shows coming out. I watch so many judge shows, I really feel I'm a lawyer. Judge Jerry, that's a new one. And they got the guy Personal Injury.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's Faith. There's a judge named Faith Jenkins or something.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's so many now.
It just keeps you busy all day.
I count about 12.
12? You watch 12?
I watched maybe 4. But it's about 12 judge shows, at least. Yeah.
I was going to say you need a job, but you got a job.
I got a job, but it's just there. So when I'm on the phone, I just watch it.
That's just background contentment.
Yeah. I try to do CNN, but, it's too negative.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
Because it's tweeting.
Yeah. CNN, all that is just negative stuff. I don't watch soap operas, but honestly, the judge shows are good because you learn a lot from the judge shows. Yeah. And when you see people suing each other and, you hear the stories and what to do, what not to do. And one thing, Michelle, do not lend anybody money and they tell you they're going to pay you back with their tax refund. You might not get it. It's a common thing that I see people do on the judge shows. Yeah. And if you do lend somebody money, make sure you send a text saying, hey, are you going to pay me back? If they say, yeah, you could use that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Technology. Yeah, look at my producer. She's shaking her head like, yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
You're just a mess. How can people find you, Carl?
Okay. So I have the special that I always do on Real Chicks Rock. Okay. This is my 3rd time on the show, and I have a special. So, these are my books, but I have them all in ebook form.
Okay.
So you got Getting Real Out of Improving Your Credit, where I teach you how to improve your credit score and budgeting. Getting Real Out of Real Estate, where I teach you how to buy your first property, whether it's an investment property or if it's a your owner occupied, how to get in commercial real estate, stuff like that. And then we have Getting Real Out of Starting a Business, where I teach you how to start your business, nonprofit, get funding, everything like that. So for those of you here that's listening to the show, whether it's on the podcast, realchicksrock.com, whether it's on the YouTube channel, also like and subscribe on her YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Or if you're on Facebook Live,
Yes.
if you IM me on Facebook, Carl Agard, or you join my Facebook group, the 800 Credit Score Club, and you IM me, or you follow me on Instagram and DM me, Carl Agard _ the Money Expert. So once again, Instagram, find me, Carl Agard, the Money Expert, Carl Agard _ the Money Expert. And on Facebook, you can find me through Carl Agard, either personally or through my group, the 800 Credit Score Club. If you message me and say that you found me through this show, I will give you all 3 of these books, the ebooks, for free. Okay? Knowledge is power. So you get all 3 ebooks, not 1, not 2, but all 3 ebooks for free. If you follow me on social media and you give me a message, you get all 3 books for free. It said how they can find me. That's everything there. That's enough right there. That's a few things.
You got some homework to do. So if you want to see this guy in person, because I think you'll probably be my last workshop for the year, most likely, because it's already November.
Yes, end of the year. Yeah,
the
we're
end of
winding
the year
down.
is done, and people are going to start celebrating Christmas. Bah humbug. I'm usually on that every holiday. But yeah, before we close out the year, I didn't think of it. I thought, what better way to start off your new year with the tools and the techniques that you need for financial empowerment and freedom with real estate, et cetera, and everything. Getting your credit score, getting your life right with your credit score, credit repair, whatever. Come see this guy. So he's going to be with us on Saturday. That's this week coming up, Saturday, at the Philip Rush Center. At doors open at 10:30. We have it on Eventbrite. So it's really 10 o'clock. Come at 10 o'clock. It's from 10 to 2 on October. Don't show up late. I really should tell the people come at 9 so that they can come by 10.
9:30, 9:45. Yeah, 'cause remember they came late last time. Yeah.
9:30, 9:45. We're going to start at 10 and we're going to go to about noon. So it's about 2 hours of Carl Agard, and we're going to talk about everything. We're going to peel this back even deeper. This was just really for the show for today, but having a one-on-one conversation, and then there's other people in the room that are asking very good questions. It's very good dialogue and information. So bring a pen, bring a paper. Somebody didn't bring a pen and a paper the last time they came. We had to provide that. So bring a pen and a paper. Use your phone. Your phone is smart. Take notes in your phone. Check out websites. As it comes out of his mouth, just capture all of that stuff so that you're empowered and know what's your path and the way you need to go for next year. So go online. It's on Eventbrite. Real Chicks Rock presents our financial management workshop. This is numero 2. It's the second one this year with Carl because he likes coming back with the information.
I like coming back. Y'all are fun.
He likes Real Chicks Rock. And so for that, we like that. So Carl, thank you.
Thank you
for
also.
your time for today. Me, you know where I am, but I got some announcements. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we celebrated 10 years with Tambor Party. Congratulations to Stan Zeff and the whole Tambor Party family for celebrating 10 years. It was an awesome night last night. So thank you guys for coming out and rocking with us last night. Like I mentioned, go to Eventbrite to join us next Saturday at 10 a.m. for financial management. You need this. You need this. Even if you're doing the right thing, you need this because there's some nuggets and some gems in there to help you get your finances and your real estate and just your credit and everything to the next level. So we want to capitalize off of this guy because other people in other places would charge us a whole lot more to do this. So make sure you come out and support and have that conversation. And if it's not for you, come and ask for a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tell a friend.
That has this situation. So come and bring that friend. So get empowered with that. You know me, Real Chicks Rock, we're always about collaboration, and so it's no different. November looks a little bit heavy. We got a lot of things going on. So we got rock, funk, soul at Venkman's on November 9th. That is Hot Ice Live Presents. Shouts out to Hot Ice Live. Always bringing out the dope live shows at Venkman's and at City Winery. It's going to be Katie Burgess and Friends. It's no different. Little John Roberts is on drums. Come on, you know you want it. Tickets are on sale. That's going to happen November 9th. Let me back it up for me. Hey, I'm going to be at Buteco. The Pulse, November 2nd. So you know what that is. For you guys that have been coming out, thank you. Continue to bring a friend. It's all about networking, building our brand, inspiring one another, kind of building those building blocks with some nice music in the background. That's what it is. They got drinks and food, but we're there to network and build each other up as a community. We're going to be there at Buteco's November 2nd. That's on a Saturday. We start at 3 and we go until. So join us there. Start building your November calendar. Start it from the 26th of October. Go to the financial management. Come check us out on November 2nd. Check out Hot Ice Live Presents with Katie Burgess and Friends at Venkman's on November 9th. So that'll get you going. We got a couple of weeks in the pipeline.
Yeah, a few things for the
There's a few things for you to do. Don't ever
we got
think
to end the year
nothing.
all right. Been a long, rough year for some folks.
Come on out and pop it right for the new year. Get your life. Meet some people that are about the same things that you're about. This show is no different. It is powered by, the shows are sponsored and powered by different people each week now. This week is by Second Nature. Yeah, come on, Dorian Sewell, owner and designer and gardener. Yeah. So listen, we had some cold weather that shook us this week, but before that it was like 90 degrees and this, that, and the other. So for your landscaping needs, today is nice. You need to make sure you get your lawn care and your landscaping solidified and locked down for the winter. Get it right. Do it right. Check out Second Nature. She's powering the show today. Her number is 470-424-4222. I am her client. I'm telling you, my lawn looks absolutely great. She's done my landscaping, and my house is much better for it. And you know, she gives you this little thing. I don't know if you can see. I'm gonna try to hold it up right. And you get a little flower in the back. Ooh, it's so cute. So you know, presentation is the key. So come on, support your own female Black business owner. We're all about that. Second Nature, exterior design, decor, and gardens. Dorian Sewell, owner and designer. Call her at 470-424-4222. That's my time. Listen, you guys follow me like Carl said. Subscribe, YouTube. We're on iTunes, iHeart, Pandora. This is going to be everywhere. Come on and grow with me. I need you. I can't do this without you. I need your support. So follow me and subscribe. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you got questions, any concerns, comments, suggestions on shows that we should do in 2020, I'm open to that. Slide that into my DM on any one of the platforms. We'll be more than happy to respond and see what we can do for 2020. I'm already booked for the rest of the year.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And then I have people like you that want to come back.
Yeah.
I got guests that want to come back, so we got to figure out how to bring them back and just make the show.
Energy's good. You do, before the end of the year, we got to have a mega show, everybody.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I think we should do that in December, like a Christmas party and a mega show.
I may need a bigger space for that.
Yeah.
I can't fit them all in here.
Let's do it remote.
Yeah, I got to do remote.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to need some sponsors for that.
Yeah.
We need sponsors for the show, and we're going to need sponsors for that event because I'm a nonprofit, so I'm going to need that. But that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Maybe if not December, kick it off the first of the year because your schedule's busy. You the main one saying let's do it, and then you working
But I
ideas.
love a Christmas party.
Uh-huh.
I love a Christmas
You
party.
love a Christmas party with your bar humbug.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my Santa hat on and everything.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do the show with a Santa hat on.
You gonna have gifts?
Yeah. Hey.
You lying with the hesitation.
Look, it's a hesitation.
Yeah,
My eyes darting around.
Yeah. Come on, Brooklyn. He's like,
I have the gift of knowledge.
The gift of knowledge.
The best one. The gift of knowledge.
The best one.
You know, when my kids ask me for something, I say, I'll give you some knowledge.
Dad.
What would I just post up? Do you want when I post up on my Instagram? And if you guys, you go on my Instagram, I have a lot of good tips, tips about credit. But do you want to someone teach you fish or someone give you fish?
Right.
Yeah.
Or you want somebody to teach you how to fish.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
I just posted it up the other day. So basically, I give a gift for Christmas, but it's going to be the gift of knowledge.
It's going to be the gift. Oh, yeah. I can't take that to Bank of America yet, but we'll see what we can do. That's my time for today. Until next time, you guys take care and continue to rock on. Bye.